Hello, I'm Pam Kristan, author of Awakening in Time, Practical Time Management for Those on a Spiritual Path. The time management challenges we face today are utterly unprecedented in the history of life on Earth. And to appreciate that fact, we need to go back to the beginning of time management, which is very close to the beginning. In the beginning, the world was without form. No time management there. There's effectively no time. But the first thing that the Creator does is say, all right, let's have day and night. So when humans come on the scene, they very quickly find that there are things that they can do in the light of day that they can't do in the dark of night. So they make choices. They see the sun go down. They say, whoops, we got to hurry up and do this. We're not going to be able to do it later. And what is this but time management? Choosing to do this now rather than later. The Greek myth of Prometheus, the fire bringer, points us in the direction that we find ourselves today. With Prometheus's gift, people could gather around the fire and do all kinds of things at night that they couldn't do before. Wow, what a great technological development. And it was. Except like all technological developments, you had to watch out that you didn't get burnt. Humans have been doing this kind of thing ever since. We have the givens of life and then we fiddle with it. The one technological development that has had probably as great an impact on time management as Prometheus's fire is, and we all know this, the electronic revolution with the proliferation of computers and other devices in the workplace and at home. Well, forget about the givens of time and space. We can work anytime, any place, 24/7. And this is wonderful, except the benefits of this electronic revolution have come at a price. Consider turnaround times. Back when I started work as a secretary 40 years ago, this was how a business communication went, and it took about a week. I'd go into the boss, take dictation, go out to my desk, type a draft, bring it in, he'd mark it up, I'd produce a final, he'd sign it, we'd put it in the mail, and we'd wait. And we didn't wait because the mail was slow. We waited because the same thing was happening on the other side. Dictation, draft, changes, final. Think of it today. Somebody sends you an email at 9 o'clock, and if you haven't responded by 10, they call you. And they say, well, what are you doing? Sitting on your hands? Think of it. The difference between 1 week and 1 hour for expectations. Electronics have also had a subtle impact on how we expect life to go, moment to moment. If you've ever said, oh, I'll be there in a minute, it's as if you were a mouse click away. Click, click, I'm there. But it takes time to get from point A to point B, and we forget about things like traffic, red lights, weather. There's an undercurrent of frustration and irritation with life on Earth, and even shame about our human needs for social interaction, for rest, for food, and everything humans need and computers don't. The other effect of the electronic revolution is that we are awash in a tidal wave of information. We're aware of what's happening on the other side of the globe. We're aware of 15,000 different places we could go on our vacation. We're aware of how we should be parenting, how we should be taking care of our bodies, how we should be performing at work. And our expectations rise with the flood. We expect ourselves to be a perfect parent. We expect ourselves to have a stupendous vacation. These changes have come in increments, one by one, little by little. And as we respond to each one, we think, well, if I just walk a little faster, if I just stay a little bit later, I'll be able to keep up. But think of it. If we were to jump from 20 years ago to today, we would look at this situation and say unequivocally, this is impossible. And it is impossible. It's impossible to do everything that you would like to do. It's certainly impossible to do everything that everybody else would like you to do. It's even impossible to do everything that you think you really need to do. And in fact, we don't do it all. No one does. My guess is you don't do everything on your list every day. I know I certainly don't, and I'm the time management lady. I should be able to do it. But we make these choices mostly unconsciously. We oil the squeaky wheel of the person that's standing right in front of us. Or we do what happens to fit in the time available. Or we do the quick and easy rather than the more difficult and time-consuming. So the question is, do we want to live like this, at the mercy of unconscious choices? Better that we take our lives in hand and make these choices more consciously. Then we'll be able to stand behind them. Then we can take our humanity in all its earthiness into account. We can protect ourselves from the onslaught of information, and we can base our choices on what's good for us and for our world. This way of managing time works. No, we won't do it all, but that's impossible anyway. What we will do is make our choices more consciously. This is the way of awakening in time, and it will hold us in good stead for a long time to come.